Thank you.
Oh, it was very interesting. It was interesting how he took you back to when he first grew up there and what he was experiencing, and then his commitment to making his country better and helping out the United States. I was really intrigued with how he applied his knowledge of his country and the people in his country to help out the United States.
I had to make a move at that point to change the whole game. I just needed to get that name out. And who is that individual who's funding them to do all this? I said, you know what? I don't have to notify the U.S. intelligence anything. You can just walk out of that door and I'll never say a word. You can run to your family, pick them up and go. My team was not up to kill children or women, even though it was their families, and that was not something we were trained for. We were there to scare them and do what we want and get out. When he spit the name of the organization he worked for, I was in shock myself. He said, I work for the Islamic State. It was led by a Zarqawi back then.
It was an amazing story. It's very incredible and it's very inspiring. And I was just really, really lucky to be here and to hear his story and to see him speak. It was a huge honor.
That was phenomenal. Huge eye-opener. I'm not ex-military myself. I respect everything that those guys do. But it's very unique to hear someone, an Iraqi from their perspective, somebody who was willing to help America, and somebody who had their ear that close to the ground during all that stuff.
The point was to get the name who was sending him over and who they are and what organization they're operating for. And I wanted to know who was behind them. And the point was it is to speak to a terrorist from the terrorist standpoint, not from the mask they put on.
Phenomenal story. He really touched with what was going on in Iraq at the time, the dangers, the impact to himself, his family, the issues that could happen.
Me and my team sat down and we rehearsed this about 100 times. We told her to go home, we got all the information we needed, and we rehearsed it about 100 times to get into there. And the most dangerous part of it, there was people with cell phones in every corner of that neighborhood. If you're not from that area and you drive inside of that neighborhood, once they make that phone call, there's about 400 of them will be surrounded around you. So we had to make sure that we cannot make mistakes. 0 mistakes will have to be done in that kind of mission.
Phenomenal speaker. I would recommend it to anybody. I think that that's something that every American needs to hear.
Huge eye-opener to see what he saw, or just to hear about what he saw every day and how he lived his life instead of just seeing what you see on the mainstream media. It was really awesome to see it in that context.
It was great. It was very inspirational. It really gives you a view into what it's really like in Iraq and what it was like for our soldiers and for him personally. You know, it's a true testament to his patriotism for our country. It's just an honor to even be listening to his speech.
Beating ISIS and al-Qaeda is not as hard as we think. They're beatable. And they are not the people that you see on TV. Their biggest weapon they use is their media propaganda. You always see them beheading somebody, killing someone, trying to put fear in your hearts. But you never see them fighting. And once we make it inside of them, we know how to beat them.
To listen to his stories talking about all the situations he was put in, the tenacity he had to overcome the fears, the dangers that were out there, to get to the root of where the problem was, to gain that knowledge, to help our American soldiers and our allies to have a more safer environment and to eradicate the issues that were there. And it really brought back, that was our whole purpose, is to provide a safer environment for everybody.
Guys, thank you very much. God bless you.